In today's video, I'm sharing with you my 2025 goals. Let's get right into it. Okay friends, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but Happy New Year. We are officially in a brand new year. We're in 2025. I cannot believe it. I'm so excited. I know people don't like the stereotypes when it comes to like new year, new me, but I'm so excited to have a clean slate, to start fresh, and use this moment as an opportunity to really do that and declutter all areas of my life. So I'm really excited about it. I hope you're really excited about it. I know you clicked on this video because you're very likely trying to set up goals for the new year, or you're just interested in hearing about mine, and that's what we're going to be talking about. However, I will say you do not need to have goals in a year to have a great year. Of course, they can really help, they can be really beneficial, and if you structure your goals in a personal way that value you as opposed to like work or any of other types of things, it can be really fantastic for your personal growth. So I love goals, and I do have goals for myself, obviously, and we'll get into them, but you don't need to have goals, and you don't need to have many goals if you do end up deciding you want to create some goals for yourself. I have 5 goals that I'll be going over in today's video, which is I'm really proud of myself about that, because in years prior I've had double, if not more than double the amount of goals in a year, and I've learned my lesson. I really need to relax. I really need to chill out, and less is more, especially depending on the goals that you're thinking about. They can be extremely impactful even in just a handful or less. So if you end up going with 5 or less, if you go with 1, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. As long as the impact is there, that's the most important thing. Okay, so with that being said, let me quickly share with you my little planner setup. In 2024, I was using this planner. You may recognize it if you've seen any of my reset recap types of videos, but this is the RDM planner, and it's a fantastic planner. My review for this is I 100% recommend, 10 out of 10. I would go with this planner year over year, but I did want to switch things up, which I'll share with you in a second. But it's a fantastic planner. It's really effective, it's minimal, it does what it needs to do. It has spaces for everything that I would need and what I think anyone would need, unless, you know, like you're really high maintenance with your planner. I think it's fantastic. It's buildable. I don't know. It's fantastic. I really love it. You can find it at mochithings.com, but I found mine at McNally Jackson in Manhattan, and this is like a navy color, but they have different colors. They have a green one. Ian has a green one. They have other colors, other sizes, and I think the 2025 one has the wording placed somewhere else. It just looks slightly different, but the inside looks the same. So definitely recommend that. But this is my planner for 2025. Now, if you've seen any of my slowing down with art videos from this year, which I just started this year, last year, you will have seen this planner, and it technically wasn't a planner before now. It was just my sketchbook, but this is a Paper Republic journal. It's this leather exterior that's essentially the Paper Republic thing, and it has this string attached to it, and inside you can put different journal inserts. So it doesn't need to be a planner. It can be whatever you want, and you just put journal inserts inside. You can get Paper Republic inserts to put in here, which is what I have in here, or you can just get any notebook that fits inside of here. It really doesn't matter. You can customize it to whatever it is that you want, and I really like that, and that's why I went with it as my planner / other things type of journal, because I want it to be an all-in-one space for everything. So what I have in here right now is the planner, of course, and I'll show you what that looks like inside in a second. But I also have a drawing book in here, which you may have seen in my slowing down with art videos. I do a lot of sketching in here. I do sketching every single morning in here. So I've had this journal for about 3 or 4 months now. So I have been using it, at least in the drawing section. And then in the back, I have a plain notebook right here. It's just plain paper. And this is what the journal, or this is what the planner section looks like if we go into it. Very simple, even more minimalistic than this planner. And I have to say I'm a little concerned because this is all that the planner is. There is no space for notes. There's no month at a glance. It's just this all the way to the very end. And then there's like a year at a glance, which is helpful, but I am more so used to a month at a glance as opposed to a year at a glance. So we'll see how I end up liking this. I'll give you my review once I have enough time using it. However, I'm not too concerned because, again, this journal has, or this this journal has inserts for all sorts of things. So if I needed to have a space for monthly reflections or anything like that, which you know that I do have the blank journal in the back that I can do that in. And speaking of, that is where I wrote my 2025 goals, because I didn't have space in the actual planner section to write them down. Now, let me tell you what my goals are. The first goal is further learning with my art. So I actually did a video last week where I talked about ways in which I'd like to slow down in 2025, and I mentioned in that video that video and this video really go hand in hand, because I gave context in that video to these goals. So things are gonna start clicking if you saw that video. If you didn't, you can watch it before or after this one, it doesn't really matter, but that one has more context into here. So things might sound redundant, but basically, I would love to learn more. I'd like to be educated more, learn more, dive into the experiences more when it comes to art, which is why I developed the Slowing Down with Art series to begin with last year. And I just want to do more of that to another level, another scale in 2025. It's going to be my main focus, aside from some other things that I'm going to be talking about. For my entire year. I got a 6-month Skillshare membership as a gift, as a Christmas gift, and I'm gonna be using that a lot in the first 6 months of the year, of course. And again, just trying to educate myself, just trying to learn and fine tune my artistic skill, and just become an expert in that space, or an expert to the best of my ability. I know expert, when we're talking about art, is subjective, like that can mean anything, but essentially I really want to focus in to my space, into my craft, so to say. And I've never really been able to do that because, of course, you know, life things, but I feel like I'm going to have more time to do this in 2025, in this year. So I'm really excited about it, and it's going to be like 90%, maybe that's probably an exaggeration, a big percentage of what I'm going to be focusing on in 2025. The next goal that I have is focusing on YouTube. So that's another huge thing. This was a goal that I had in 2024, and I did really well there. So I brought it over to 2025 because, again, YouTube is something that's extremely important to me. It's my favorite platform to post on, and I just want to get better and better as the years go on. So that's going to be a major thing, and possibly a really great thing for you, my YouTube community. The third goal I have is another goal that I carried over from last year, which was successful, so I'm assuming it's going to be successful again this year. But it's to put money into my savings each month. I did that very successfully, 12 out of 12 months in 2024, so I would like to do that in 2025 as well. My fourth goal is to create more than I consume. Again, this is something that I mentioned in that video where I talked about slowing down in 2025, but I would basically like to swap my phone screen time to creating time. So anytime I have the urge to pick up my phone and just scroll, I would like to swap that time and turn it into something more productive, more creative. And that doesn't necessarily mean like art, because I know my first goal was all about art, but that can mean hobbies, that can mean diving into other interests that I have, or exploring other interests that I have, something like that. But keeping it vague will allow me to interpret that in a different way each month, because you never know what that might look like in January compared to June. So we'll see, but I'm really excited about that as well. And I do think that it's vague, but it's also clear enough for me to be able to measure it every single month. So you'll see more about that when I do my monthly reflections in the new year, or in this year. And then my last goal, my fifth goal for 2025, is to incorporate more whole foods meals into my weekly rotation. I feel like a lot of the times, especially as the year goes on, I'm pretty good in the beginning of the year, which is quite common for a lot of us, right? But as we get into the middle of the year and things start to get busy and hectic, I start to neglect like fruits and veggies first and foremost. And I kind of rely on prepared meals or frozen meals, or meals that can really sit in my fridge or freezer for a good amount of time and not get spoiled, so it's just easier on my life. But I do want to focus on having fruits and veggies as a majority of my meals going forward. And this kind of ties into what I talked about in my Q4 review, where I did have some health things. So this is something that I need to prioritize. And so I'm writing it down. It's not something that I want to forget or neglect. It's part of my big picture 2025 goals. And this list of goals is something that I really am treasuring. I'm really putting a lot of value and importance and priority on. So what I write in there is not just something that I write and I tuck away in the corner and I forget. I'm really, really putting my all for the entire year of 2025 into these 5 goals. So it's extremely important, and I just want to reiterate that if you are going to be setting goals like this, you want to make sure that you're setting goals that are something you really, really want to take seriously. Like, I'm not saying you need to sit down and drill it into your head and not focus on anything, or don't create a balance of rest and fun in your year. But if you're going to put these down as goals, you should have the expectation that you're going to work on them. And so take them really seriously. I had actually had a pep talk with Ian when I was helping him set up his goals for 2025, because he was transferring over a lot of goals that he didn't accomplish in 2024. And I had to stop him and tell him, like, are these things that you really want to achieve because you didn't really prioritize them in the year prior? And if so, you need to really make sure that you are holding yourself accountable come the new year for those goals, or adjust those goals so that they're a little bit more realistic and practical and achievable, or at least mostly achievable in the new year, and things like that. So just be mindful of all of the different nuances there when we're talking about 2025 goals. As you can see, my goals are quite vague this year. There's nothing extremely specific. Everything is vague, like money into savings, but I didn't say a specific number. Focus on YouTube, but I didn't say specifically how. Create over consume, but I didn't say specifically how. So I am interpreting that as a good thing, because I'm assuming that in the new year, each month will define that in a different way, but I am holding myself accountable because I do monthly reflections, monthly holding myself accountable type of reflections. I do my quarterly reviews and stuff like that. So just try to look at these different outlets and these different ways of approaching your goals, and just keep it in mind as you create your goals, as you think about what goals you're going to be doing and how you anticipate achieving them as well. That is all for my 2025 goals. I hope that was interesting to hear about. I hope the little tidbits that I mentioned throughout are helpful and insightful and are getting you excited for a brand new year with brand new goals, or maybe the same goals as last year. But either way, I'm really excited for us. I'm excited for both of us, because a new year is a new opportunity. And I know that might be like a really outdated phrase to use, but I do think that it's still valid, and we can interpret it in whichever way that we want, and we can interpret our years in whichever way that we want, whether we start it on January 1st or June 30th, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. But best of luck. I'm excited. I'm so excited to hear about your goals. I'm excited to hear about your progress and what you're excited for. Please feel free to let me know what those are in the comment section below. I would love to hear about it. But that is all. Happy New Year, and I will talk to you in the next video.